What if I told you your financial life was decided long before you got your first paycheck? Not by your parents, not by your boss, not even by the economy, but by a system you were born into, a system you trusted, a system you never once questioned. You did everything right. You went to school, you studied hard, you followed every rule they gave you. You got the degree, you got the job, you showed up every single day. And yet, you still feel broke, not just in your bank account, but in your bones. Like no matter how many hours you work, no matter how many sacrifices you make, you are not moving forward. You're just running, faster and faster, but never arriving anywhere. That feeling has a name. It's called the rat race. And here's the truth nobody told you. It's not a race you can win by running harder. Picture a normal Tuesday morning. Your alarm goes off at 6:30. You don't want to get up, but you do, because you have to. You check your phone, emails, notifications, news, already stressed, and the day hasn't even started. You rush through breakfast, maybe skip it. You commute, traffic, noise, crowded trains. You sit at a desk for 8 hours, maybe 9, maybe 10. You come home exhausted, too tired to cook, too tired to think, too tired to dream. You scroll your phone for an hour. Tell yourself tomorrow will be better. Set the alarm again and repeat. That's not living, that's surviving. And the worst part? At the end of every month, after all that sacrifice, after all those hours, you check your bank account, and it's almost empty. Again. Bills took some. Rent took more. Groceries, subscriptions, the random stuff you forgot about. And there it is, back to zero, every single month. And a small voice inside you asks, is this it? Is this what I worked so hard for? Let me be very direct with you. This is not bad luck. This is not a personal failure. This is not because you're lazy. This is a trap, a carefully designed, invisible trap. And billions of people are inside it right now. The trap works like this. You wake up. You trade your time for money. You use that money to pay for the life that lets you keep trading time for money. Rent, food, transport, clothes. All of it just keeps you functional enough to show up and do it again tomorrow. You're not building a life. You're maintaining a machine. And that machine is not yours. It belongs to the system. This is what Robert Kiyosaki called the rat race, a loop, a cycle, a trap that looks like normal life. Warren Buffett once said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Read that again. Work until you die. Not retire comfortably. Not travel the world. Not spend time with your family. Work until you die. And the scary part is, most people are on that exact path because school taught you how to be a worker, how to be useful to someone else's system, how to show up, perform, and collect a check. But it never taught you the most important lesson, how to make money work for you, how to build something that pays you while you sleep, how to own instead of owe. There is a massive difference between those two worlds, and until you understand that difference, you will stay trapped. Here's something that will shake you. You can earn more money and still stay broke. I know people making six figures, $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year, still living paycheck to paycheck, still stressed about rent, still one emergency away from disaster. Because being broke is not just about income. It's about the relationship you have with money. It's about how money flows through your life. And for most people, the flow looks like this. Money comes in. Money goes straight out. Subscriptions, eating out, Amazon purchases, impulse buys, monthly payments on things you forgot you own. And there it is, gone. Here's a question most people never ask themselves. Where exactly is my money going? Not roughly, not maybe, exactly. Most people cannot answer that because the drain is invisible. $9.99 here, $14.99 there, $29 for that app you downloaded once, $6 coffee every morning. That's $180 a month on coffee alone, $2,160 a year on coffee, not on assets, not on investments, on coffee. Now multiply that across every invisible leak in your financial life. And suddenly, the mystery of where your money went is not a mystery anymore. So here's where we stand. You work hard. You earn money. It disappears. You feel stuck. You feel like something is deeply wrong. And you're right. Something is wrong. But it's not you. It's the system you were never taught to see. And right now, we're going to go inside that system. We're going to look at exactly how it was built and exactly how it keeps you trapped. Because once you see it clearly, you can never unsee it. Let me ask you something honest. In 12 years of school, how many classes did you have on money, on investing, on building wealth, on understanding debt, on how compound interest works, on how to read a financial statement? 0. 12 years, hundreds of exams, thousands of hours, and not one class on how to manage the money you'd spend your entire life earning. Think about that. You learned trigonometry. You learned about ancient empires. You learned to diagram sentences. But you never learned how money actually works. And that's not an accident. That's a design choice. Let's go back to the early 1900s. Industries were booming. Factories were being built. The economy needed something specific. Millions of workers, obedient workers, people who would show up on time, do what they were told, not ask too many questions, and go home. So the education system was designed around that goal. Teach people to follow instructions. Teach people to respect authority. Teach people that there is one right answer, and your job is to find it. Teach people to fear failure. And above all, teach people that getting a stable job is the ultimate achievement. That system is still running today, almost unchanged. You went through it. Your parents went through it. And if you don't break the cycle, your children will go through it too. Here's where it gets darker. You finish school. You want to go to college, but college is expensive. So they offer you a solution. Student loans. You're 18 years old. You have no financial education. You have no concept of what $30,000 in debt really means. And they hand you money and say, don't worry, you'll pay it back when you get a job. So you sign. And just like that, before you earn your first dollar, you already owe thousands. You are already trapped. And it doesn't stop there. You graduate. You need a car to get to work. Car loan. You need a place to live. Rent. Deposits. Moving costs. You want to furnish your apartment. Credit card. Layer by layer, debt stacks up. And debt is not just money you owe. Debt is control. Because when you owe money, you cannot afford to quit. You cannot afford to take risks. You cannot afford to say no. You have to work every single day. That's not freedom. That's a leash with a monthly payment. Now here's where it gets sneaky. You start earning. Your first real paycheck hits your account, and it feels incredible. For the first time in your life, you have money, real money. So what do? You upgrade. New phone, new clothes, better apartment, nicer car, nights out, vacations. Because you worked hard for this, right? You deserve it. And this is where the trap snaps shut. Because every time your income goes up, your expenses go up to match it. Economists call this lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most dangerous financial forces in the world. Because it's invisible. It doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like progress. It feels like reward. But what you're actually doing is making sure that no matter how much you earn, you never have anything left over. Here's the psychology behind it. Society tells you that success looks a certain way. Nice house, nice car, nice clothes, nice vacations. And we believe it because we see it everywhere. Social media, ads, movies. Everyone is performing wealth. Everyone is showing the highlight reel. And so you spend money you don't have to impress people you don't know, to maintain a lifestyle you can't afford. This is called keeping up with the Joneses, and it is the fastest way to stay broke because the Joneses are broke too. They just look good on Instagram. Now here's the one that really should terrify you. Time. Every hour you spend working is an hour you can never get back. Your time is your most valuable asset, and right now you are selling it by the hour to someone else in exchange for a fixed amount of money. And no matter how good you are at your job, you can only sell so many hours. There are 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8. You work 8 to 10. You commute 1 to 2. You eat. You shower. You handle life. By the time you're done, you have maybe 2 free hours a day. That is the window of your entire life outside of obligation. 2 hours. And that is if things go well. If you're sick, if there's overtime, if life happens, that window shrinks even more. Now here's the brutal part. Rich people have the same 24 hours. The difference is what their money is doing while they sleep. Okay, but what about saving? Everyone says, just save more, cut the lattes, budget harder. And yes, spending awareness matters. But savings alone will not make you wealthy. Here's why. Inflation. Right now, inflation is quietly, silently eating your money. Every year, the dollar in your savings account buys a little less. If inflation is running at 4% per year, and your savings account pays you 0.5%, you are losing 3.5% of your purchasing power every year. That means your money is shrinking. Even when it looks like it's growing, you're running just to stand still. And the people who designed the system, they know this. They count on it. Because as long as you believe that saving alone is the answer, you'll never learn the real answer, which is investing, which is building assets, which is making your money work instead of just sitting there getting eaten alive by inflation. Let me lay out the entire trap for you, step by step. Step 1. You go to school. No financial education, just job training. Step 2. You go into debt for college. Step 3. You get a job to pay off that debt. Step 4. You start earning. You upgrade your lifestyle. Step 5. Your expenses match your income. No gap, no savings. Step 6. You need more money. You work harder. Maybe get a raise. Step 7. Lifestyle inflates again. Back to zero. Step 8. Years pass. You're older, more experienced, still living paycheck to paycheck. Step 9. You tell yourself you'll figure it out later. Step 10. Later never comes. That's the trap. Not evil, not dramatic, just a cycle. A boring, invisible, soul-crushing cycle that most people live inside their entire lives. But here's what I need you to understand. Knowing the trap exists is the first step to escaping it. Most people live inside the cycle their entire lives, not because they're stupid, not because they don't work hard, but because they never saw the system clearly enough to escape it. You are seeing it now. And now, we're not going to talk about theory. We're going to talk about what you actually do. Concrete steps, real shifts, the exact mindset and actions that separate people who build wealth from people who just earn income forever. Stay with me. Let me introduce you to two types of people. Person A wakes up every morning and thinks, how do I earn more money today? Person B wakes up every morning and thinks, how do I build something that earns money without me? Same age, same starting point, completely different financial futures. Because person A is building income. Person B is building wealth. Income stops when you stop working. Wealth keeps growing even when you sleep. And the shift from one mindset to the other is the single most important financial decision you will ever make. You have to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an owner, not because jobs are bad, but because a job alone will never set you free. Robert Kiyosaki said it simply, rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. Middle class buys liabilities thinking they're assets. What's an asset? Something that puts money into your pocket, a rental property, stocks, a business, royalties, content that earns over time. What's a liability? Something that takes money out of your pocket, a new car, a bigger apartment you don't need, expensive gadgets. Most people spend their entire careers buying liabilities, thinking they're living the good life, and wondering why they never get ahead. The shift is this. Before you buy anything, ask one question. Does this put money in my pocket or take money out? That one question will change how you see every financial decision. Before you can invest, before you can build wealth, you need one thing: capital. And the fastest way to generate capital when you're starting from zero is a high-income skill, a skill the market actually values. Something like copywriting, sales, software development, digital marketing, video editing, financial consulting. The world will pay well for skills that solve real problems. And the beautiful thing about skills? Nobody can take them from you. You can lose a job, you can lose a business, but your skills stay with you. So the first move is simple. Look at where the market pays well. Learn that skill. Get really good at it. Use it to increase your income. And that extra income becomes your ammunition. Now here's where most people fall apart. They earn more, they spend more, and they wonder why their bank account looks the same. The goal is not to live cheap. The goal is to create a gap. Gap equals income minus expenses. The bigger the gap, the faster you build wealth. And to create the gap, you have to make a conscious decision every month. My lifestyle will not grow as fast as my income. That is it. That is the discipline. Not deprivation, not suffering, just control. Delay the upgrade. Wait before you buy. Ask yourself, do I need this or do I just want it right now? Most of the time, you'll find it's a want, and wants can wait. Assets cannot. This is where the real magic happens. You have a gap now, extra money every month. Now what? Do not let it sit in a savings account getting eaten by inflation. Put it to work. The simplest starting point in 2025, index funds. Low cost, diversified, proven over decades. The S&P 500 has historically returned around 10% per year on average. If you invest $500 a month at 10% average return, in 30 years, you will have over $1 million from $500 a month. That is the power of compound interest. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world, and the only requirement to benefit from it is time, which means the best day to start was 10 years ago. The second best day is today. Not next month, not when you earn more. Today, with whatever you have. Even $50 a month is better than nothing because the habit matters more than the amount. Here is one of the scariest financial truths. If you have only one source of income, you are one bad day away from disaster. Job gets cut, business closes, health fails, and suddenly the only stream you had goes dry. That's not stability, that's vulnerability with a paycheck. The wealthy don't rely on one stream, they build many. And here's the thing about income streams. You don't need to build 10 of them overnight. You just need to start building one more, right now. Your job is stream 1. What's stream 2? Maybe it's freelance work in your skill area. Maybe it's content creation. Maybe it's a small online business. Maybe it's dividend income from investments. Maybe it's renting out something you own. One extra stream. That's the goal. Because 2 streams become 3. 3 become 5. And eventually, even if one dries up, you barely notice. That is financial resilience. Everything we've talked about, the skills, the gap, the investments, the income streams, all of it is practical. But underneath all of it, there is something deeper, an identity shift. Because most people don't fail at money because they lack information. They fail because of how they see themselves. If you believe deep down, I'm not good with money. Rich people are just lucky. Investing is for people with more money than me. Then no amount of strategy will save you, because your actions will always follow your beliefs. You have to change the story you tell yourself. Stop saying, I need a better job. Start saying, I need better assets. Stop saying, I can't afford to invest. Start saying, what do I need to change to start investing? Stop saying, money isn't important. Start saying, money is a tool, and I'm going to learn how to use it. Because here's the truth. Money doesn't judge you. Money doesn't care about your past. Money flows toward people who understand it. And understanding starts with believing you can. Here's something most people don't realize. Compound interest works both ways. When you invest, small actions compound into massive wealth over time. But when you stay in bad financial habits, those also compound. Every year you delay investing is one less year of growth. Every year of lifestyle inflation makes it harder to close the gap. Every year of carrying high-interest debt makes you poorer while the bank gets richer. The system compounds in its favor, or it can compound in yours. That's the choice. People think rich people have secrets, some special investment only they know about, some insider information. But the real secret is embarrassingly simple. They started earlier. They stayed consistent. They let time do the heavy lifting. A 25-year-old who invests $200 a month will end up with more money at 65 than a 35-year-old who invests $500 a month. 10 years of head start beats more money every single time. Because time in the market beats timing the market. Consistency beats intensity. Starting beats waiting. Here's why most people never escape. The rat race doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like a normal life. Go to work. Pay your bills. Take your vacation. Retire at 65. It's what everyone around you is doing. Your coworkers are doing it. Your neighbors are doing it. Maybe even your parents did it. And so it feels normal, safe, the right path. But normal is not the same as right. Normal is just what most people do. And what most people do keeps them average, keeps them trading time for money, keeps them one emergency away from financial panic for their entire working lives. You don't have to be normal. You just have to see what normal actually costs. The rat race is not fate. It's a default setting, and defaults can be changed, but it requires a decision, a real one, not a motivation video moment that fades by tomorrow. A real decision that changes how you act every day. Small decisions. Invest before you spend. Learn before you earn more. Build before you buy. Think long-term when everyone around you is thinking short-term. Those small decisions, made consistently over years, are what separate the people who escape the trap from the people who spend 40 years inside it. You came here today for a reason. Something inside you knew the current path wasn't working. Something in you is hungry for more. Not more stuff, more freedom, more control, more peace. That hunger is not a flaw. That hunger is a signal. Listen to it. Because freedom doesn't come from a bigger paycheck. It comes from building something your paycheck can't buy. Assets, skills, systems, habits, the things that work for you, even when you're not working. Start today, not with a massive move, with one small, deliberate decision. Learn one skill, cut one leak, make one investment, build one more stream. Because the difference between the people trapped in the rat race forever and the people who escape it is not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's just this. One decided to start, and one kept waiting. Don't wait. The trap is real, but so is the exit. You just have to choose to take it.